Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, me, myself, and I playthrough main event scenario. We're getting ready to enter into the Western operations phase of May 1944. The weather has been kind to us. We have fair both in the cold zone and the mild zone. It does mean with the optional rules that we will have poor weather in June, but by then I don't think I'm going to care that much, and it'll give me a turn to maybe recoup some of my airplane losses versus vis-a-vis the Germans. We're going to start off with American shenanigans. First, French Army. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 35-11 down the rail line, then goes over the river and into Bordeaux for 9, which captures Bordeaux for us. And then, what did that? And then his 10th movement point, he goes to 36-11, so that he's not in Bordeaux. And he's just north of the Garonne, just northeast of Toulon by a couple of hexes, or Toulouse, whatever that city is there. And I guess I should probably start up my timer so I don't go over too much. The next thing that happens is we're going to go, we're going to play shenanigans. Do the Germans have something on the Sea Zone 10? So they can get to me in the 7. So I have to send the aircraft carrier for an escort because I want to make sure this gets through on one go. So the aircraft carrier and the convoy with its 2 sorties are going to go with an activated air unit. And then they all go 3 into the North Atlantic Ocean box. And then 4 into Sea Zone 7. Hello, Sea Zone 7. They have to go into Sea Zone 7 and give the Germans a chance to intercept them. Germans are looking at fair weather, so that American fleet is +2 because it's American fleet, +2 for its, as it's an aircraft carrier at fair. So it would be a +4. Best I would be is a +1. Minimum die roll he can get is a 5. Best die roll I can get is a 7. A 7, and the minimum he gets is a 5 is a diamond, and my best is a 7. So I can't intercept him and stop it. He's going to get that transport through. So I'm going to go ahead and let it go. So that was 3, 4 to 7, 5 into 8. We actually go into Bordeaux to land the aircraft, and it takes a sortie. And then we come back out. So that was 3, 4, 5. We go 6. 6, 7, 8, and then land in Gibraltar. And they each take a sortie. Okay, and then the British will spend... Oh, wait a minute. Let's see, I was 3, 4, 5... into the port. 6, 7, 8, 16, 9, 10 would only be 17. So yeah, I have to stop in Gibraltar. So I have to do the Gibraltar dance here. We're going to activate the Gibraltar infantry unit for the British. And he's going to take these guys with him. And then they go 1 into 16. 2 into 7. And again, the Germans are like, it's just too many sorties on that aircraft carrier. They go into Plymouth to drop off the Gibraltar infantry unit, so I have something in England now. So I don't have to worry about staying within 3 of the English coast, my ground unit. And then, let's see, that was 1, 2, 3 back out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goes back into Eastern North America. So we'll go back into the box up here. Take a sortie. Oops. Let's undo that. Let's just raise them by one. And then we're going to activate the 7th armor as well. And we're going to come back out. 3, 4 into C Zone 7. Let's see, the British are only at a +2 now, and I'm at a +1. So here's where I'm going to see if I can't get through and just try and add some sorties to these guys. So now I play the German surface action marker, because I do have a port still on C Zone 10. So that's 2 C Zones into C Zone 7. So the Germans are at +1 as the attacker. And the British are +2 for British, +2 for an aircraft carrier in fair weather, and then -2 for their sorties. So it's +1 to a +2. The Germans need a big split here for this to work. And a 1 will not do it. 1 + 1 is a 2, and the British roll 6 + 2 is an 8. So a 2 to an 8 is the Germans take 3 sorties. The British aircraft carrier takes 1. And then they proceed on their merry way, which is going to be to land the 7th Army in Bordeaux. And then the ships will take up station off of Bordeaux. Ta-da. And then that ends the activation of this German unit. And he comes back with sorties +1, so 3 + 1 is 4 turns from now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll be back with my submarines in September. So, vain hope by the German light cruisers and E-boats and whatnot to try and mess with the Americans, but that just didn't work. And the Americans now have an airplane. So, that is an example of the ridiculous mobility power of the Western Allies with their fleets and things. They can do a lot with just one. I had one fleet, one escort. Even with 2 sorties, I was able to get. That convoy had to take another sortie. Because of the way the rules work, I could move an airplane into Bordeaux and end up in Gibraltar. And then another sortie takes him out of Gibraltar, drops him off at Plymouth, and I still could make it back to North America. And then from North America, I came back again and dropped an infantry or American Army into Bordeaux. So for 3 sorties, I got literally 3 units moved around the board. It's amazing if you pay attention how much you can do. So now we get to go on to more important things. We're going to put this on this side because the West has some other shenanigans to do. Don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. The 1st American Army will now activate. This army should be activated. Yeah, activated. You had to activate to move by sea. 1st Army moves to 3412, and then attacks 34... No, it doesn't. Go back. Americans do not activate. The British will fly their fighter in Southampton. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can just reach the aircraft south of the Seine. The British are at +1 because they're British, and then -4 for sorties, so they're a net -3. Germans start off at +2 for being a German, then -4 sorties, so they're at -3. So it's a -3 to a -3. British roll a 1, and the Germans roll a 2. So we each take a sortie, and that eliminates the German airplane from the scene. Now I activate the American
Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to unactivate everything here. I'm going to go activate these infantry again. That infantry, this infantry, and the first French, and the first American. So he moves to there. That was 9. Leaves him with 9 movement points. Then he has to spend 3 to attack 34-13. And he will throw in his airplane. And the Germans don't have any. Well, the Germans could play their tanks marker if they wanted. And they really kind of want to stuff this right now. Or do I save it for the Russian front? That's the problem. The Russians can attack me in so many different places, I wouldn't know where to play it there. I think they're closer to Germany here, so I think I need to play this here. They're close to the German border here and actually capturing cities that matter, like Metz, that have factories in them. So I'm going to play it here and try and stop them. So the Germans normally are +2, and then they get +2 for their tank. The Americans are normally +1 because they're American, +2 because they're armor, and +2 for their airplane, and -1 for the mountains they're attacking into. So it's a +4 to a +4. And we see what happens. The Americans roll. 4 + 4 is an 8. Germans roll. 5 + 4 is a 9. 8 to a 9 is a diamond. So they did stop me for one attack. And that comes back next turn. And then the Americans will spend 3 more to attack again. This time it's only +2 to +2. Because I don't have an airplane anymore. So +2 to +2. That's a 4. I can't dislodge the Germans. I roll a 2 + 2 is a 4. And I'll spend my last 3. I really had hoped to pull something off here, but it's not going to work. And it's a +2 to +2. And Americans roll. A 2 + 2 is a 4. They can't get the Germans. Even at an 8, 4 to an 8. It's just an AS. And I was out of movement points anyway. So the German 8th Army held, which is annoying, to say the least. Well, the American 3rd Army is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I could go. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just going to move to 31, 13. Anything they attack, they're at like +2 to +4. We'll take a shot at the 3rd Panzer. Americans are a net +2. Germans are +4 because they're German. And then we roll. Americans roll. 5 + 2 is a 7. Germans roll. 4 + 4 is an 8. And that ends the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could do it again, so we'll do it again. Well, actually, yeah, because 7 to 8 is a diamond. And 3rd Army, Patton tries again against the 3rd Panzer. And fails miserably. It's a 3 total. And they roll a 6 + 4 is a 10. I had a 3 to a 10 is an AA, so Patton actually takes a step loss. He tried. He failed. I think we're going to go with the 2nd Army for the British now. Tracks. So that's 2 more for the Brits. And they go 1, 2, 3 into 29, 13, and then attack 38. No, 30, 13. And they can throw in an airplane. The Germans cannot. So that makes the British +1 for British, +2 for armor, +2 for an aircraft, and the Germans are +4 because they're armor. And the British roll. A 5. 5 plus 5 is a 10. Germans roll 5 plus 4 is a 9. That's a diamond. That cost the British 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have 5 left. Should keep track of this. So I'll spend 2 more, and they'll use up the Southampton guy. And so it's the same thing, plus 5 to plus 4. British roll another 5, plus 5 is a 10. The Germans roll a 5, plus 5 is a 10, or 4 is a 9. So the British will spend 2 more and use a combat sortie on First Fighter Command and try again at plus 5 to plus 4. It's becoming very hard to push these guys out of... Do I want to do that? I don't think I want to do that. Take back that sortie. I think I'm just going to attack at plus 3 to plus 4. If I get lucky and retreat him, great. If I don't, great. I don't really care one way or the other at this point. Germans are British roll a 1 plus 3 is a 4. And the Germans roll 4 plus 4 is an 8. So I have a 4 and they have an 8. 4 to an 8 is an AS. I was going to stop anyway because I only had 1 movement point, and that just ends that. Oh, this guy activated. And then the first Canadian's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to 33, 13. There's another 2 production points for the British. They're down to 29. And then they attack the 5th Panzer. Germans are at plus 4. The British are at plus 5. They're going to use their Air Fighter Command now to give them a plus 5 to a plus 4. And see what they can do here. 6 plus 5 is 11. And the Germans roll. 5 plus 5 is a 10. It's a diamond. Let's see, that cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 4 left. Let's just try and move this Panzer. It's not working well here. We'll use up the last air up here. So that cost me 2. And roll 3 plus 5 is an 8. Germans roll 5. So the Germans haven't rolled anything under a 5. And that just stops that attack. So that was a waste of a lot of good air power. Before we go do anything in the south, we're going to go ahead and do our patented American stuff. They're -4 for sorties, -2 for a bomber, +1 because they're American. And the Germans are a net of -2. So +2 for German, -2 for sorties. So the Germans roll a 4. -2 is a 2, so the bomber in Newcastle got through. Hey, there's something. And the Germans take a sortie. The Americans up there take a sortie. So now we're going to have the Americans in Hull go and attack Hamburg. So they're at -5, and the Germans are at -3, so they need to have a 6. They rolled a 3, so they didn't get it. That puts the Germans out of business. And that lets the Allies throw down another bombed marker. Hamburg. And then they're going to drop a bombed marker in Dusseldorf from the British. And being at 5 sorties each, I think I'm going to stop there so I can get down to 3 sorties and maybe do a little more damage in the poor weather next turn. 3's a good plus. I'm at +5. I don't think I have... I do have partisans. I have an ultra coming, along with his subs. So we'll probably end up having each other on this, or they'll have the Russians to gain 1 and lose 1 from me. So maybe I'll keep them at 4. So that's the bombing. I mean, I could go hog wild and put like 6 in there, but I mean, I'm only going to get 1 factory out of it.
And I'd like to be able to keep up like anywhere from 2 to 4 every turn makes the Germans have to, risk the die rolls. Did not break the France front at all, really. And building up pressure coming from the south and Bordeaux and whatnot. Now we have to try and see if we want to play games here. Jeez. I'd be I'd be a +1 to a +2 going across the mountain. That's probably not worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can only get one attack off on the second garrison, and that would be at +2 to 0 if I move the 9th out of the way. And give up on my push towards Munich. Or I could start off with the British and see if they move that 18th Army. I might do that. So I move the 18th Army, then maybe I can do some other kind of shenanigans. Alright, we're going to activate the 8th Army. Not that one. There we go. So that's 2 more from the British. I need to count the British when I'm done here. And they throw in their airplane. So they are +1 for British, +2 for armor, +2 for air, -1 for the ridge, -1 for the rough terrain. The Germans are +2 because, hey, they're German. They're that good. And that cost me 1, 2, 3, 4 movement points, so I still have 6 left. So I can actually do this twice. So let's see how we do on the first die roll. British roll 5, +3 is an 8. Germans roll 4, +2 is a 6. That's enough to not move. Yep, that's diamond. So the British will just go ahead and try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And see if they can push them. British roll. A 1 + 3 is a 4. They can't push the Germans because the minimum they can get is a 3. And they get like a 5, so that doesn't work. So that failed miserably. So I'm going to go see if I can eliminate this second garrison or something. I want to do something useful with the Americans. I could attack at +1 to +2. In for a penny, in for a pound. The Americans will activate attack at +1 to +2 defender. That costs me 4, so I still have 6 left. Yeah. The Americans roll 1 + 1 is a 2. They can't move the Germans. The Germans roll 4 + 2 is a 6. 2 to a 6. It's an AS, so I don't get any more attacks. So that ends that attack. Oh, I used the British Air Force up. I did 2 attacks with the Air Force included. So, yeah, boy, howdy, yuck. I could attack it 0 to 0 against the second garrison with the 9th. I don't think it's worth spending the production point. I'll do a quick check on the British here. 2, 3, 4, 5 for the guy in Plymouth. Alright, 5, 6, 7, and I started at 34, so I'm at 27. I'd really like to get the British surprise marker back. If I do that, I'm not going to have a whole lot of rebuilding that I can do. I can build 2 airplanes back. And I really need to do more than that, so I'm not going to be living on the British surprise marker. Question is do I bother leaving the 9th, the 10th here, or do I go prevent German adventurism? If I move the 19th, the 10th, the Germans, knowing it's going to be poor weather next turn, could try to mount an assault to push the Americans out. They could get to 2, 3, 4. -2. -3 because of the weather. Maybe like a +1 to a +2. That'd be the same silly attack that I made. So I think I can afford to do this. I am going to go ahead and spend the 1 point here. It's me down to 26. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. No. 6, 7. I'm going to go to 34, 26. That way the Germans can't like maneuver around and get past the Alpine line. They have to attack across the Alpine line as well as me going north. So I am tying up, 3 German regular armies in the Liguria here. So I am taking a few units from the western front. Not much, but I'm taking a little bit. Okay. Geez, I still have a couple minutes left on my timer. Amazing. I have to do supply, don't I? Did my bombing? Did not do my supply. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ground units and an air unit. 8 units that could supply out of anywhere. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this guy goes up to 8. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, I have 9. So I'll take an American convoy up. I have 9. Forgot to brought in an extra airplane. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in here, and I have taken off my 9 sorties, and I have to go down here and take. I want to keep these guys all in supply, so 2, 4, and he gets 2 for the Americans. Okay. So I've done my supply. Everybody's in supply. Americans are kind of sticking their necks out, but so far the Germans are not really able to force me out of the Alpine. And I'm slowly but surely pushing across France. Next turn's going to be poor weather, so not a lot's going to happen, I don't think. Okay. So that is the Western Operations phase of May 1944, the second fair weather turn in a row so far in 1944. We know there will be 3 more, July, August, and September. And we also know that next turn is going to be poor weather for the West. So they're pretty happy with their positions, be able to have things all set up, maybe get off a couple of assaults, but basically the big things are going to start happening in July. So I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And we will return with the Soviet May 1944 operations and end of turn phase things in just a little bit. Until then, bye-bye.